Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Maths Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. So we're going to be talking about the power rule and how do I apply this in differentiation, okay? Usually what I always say, please make sure you look at the previous video and try to understand it before you go to the next. In the previous video, I listed the 15 mechanisms and we're talking about the first mechanism here. If you've not subscribed, liked, or shared, I don't know what you're waiting for, please don't forget to do so and click the notification bell so when I post the new other mechanisms and new videos, you'll be the first person to know. All right, so now in power rule, basically, what we have here is that if, for instance, you're having y is equal to x raised to power n, and you are told to differentiate this, okay? So for instance, let's say you have something like we're told y is equal to x raised to power 5, and we're told to differentiate this, okay? How do you do it? So you have to apply the power rule here, okay? So that means I'm meant to differentiate y is equal to x raised to power n for any value of n, all right? So any value of n. So n can be positive, n can be negative. So you can have something also like y is equal to x raised to power minus 3. So possible for any value of n. Now, like I said, I'm going to be using y and x a lot, okay? But you can also have something like v is equal to t raised to power 5. It's also possible to differentiate v in respect to t. Is that okay? But I'm going to be using y and x just for consistency. How do you do it? Now, there are three rules here, okay? There are three rules or three steps. So remember, I always give the rules and steps so that it will be easier for you to see or you can visualize what I did. So number one, the first thing you do is that you bring down or you bring the power down, okay? And use it to multiply the question. So you bring the power down and use it to multiply the question. Then after you're done with that, number two is that you then subtract 1. Okay? So you subtract 1 from n. Okay? So you subtract 1 from n and use the new power. Then after you've done that, the next step is that you simplify. Okay? The next step is that you simplify. So for instance, going back to what we had there, we have y is equal to x raised to power n. Okay, so that is the power rule. Okay, so what you do, the first step is that you bring the power down. So we're going to bring the power down. So it's going to be y is equal to, you bring the power down and use it to multiply the question. So it's going to be n multiplied by x raised to power what? N. Are you seeing it? Then you subtract 1 from n. So we're going to subtract 1 from n, and we're going to use the new power, okay? So now, therefore, this is going to become the y over the x. So we're differentiating y in respect to x, okay? We're differentiating y in respect to x. So when you differentiate y in respect to x, what you're going to get is going to be now n x n minus 1. And this is the rule, okay? So what you do, you bring down n to multiply the original question, and the n here, you subtract what? 1. That is it. So let's solve some questions together. So I'm going to pick some examples. Okay, so let's start. We have y is equal to x raised to power 4. And you were told to differentiate this. So let's go. So the first thing you are told to do is to bring the power down. All right, so we're going to have the y over the x is going to be, you bring the power down, so it's going to be 4 multiplied by x raised to power 4. Then you meant to subtract 1 from n. So we're going to subtract 1 from n, which is this. Are you seeing it? Then what? Simplify. So it's going to give us equal to 4 multiplied by x raised to power 4 minus 1 is 3. And this is going to give us 4x raised to power what? 3. All right. Let me pick another question. So let's say we have number 2. We have y is equal to x raised to power 2 over 3. Same thing. All right. So same thing, same principle. So remember I said for you to differentiate, don't forget it has to be in an index form. Okay. Don't forget that index form. Before you start differentiating, I said it in the first video, make sure the question is in an index form, and it's an index form here. So that's why we can just go straight and differentiate. If it's not in an index form, please don't differentiate. So the first thing to always check is that the question has to be in an index what? Index form. All right, so let's go. So these are the index form as well. So we do it. So differentiate dy over dx will be equal to, you bring the power down, be 2 over 3 multiplied by x, 2 over 3. Then you subtract 1 from this. Are you seeing it? So then you simplify. It's going to give us 2 over 3 multiplied by x. 2 over 3 minus 1 will give us minus 1 over 3 if you press your calculator. Then you multiply to simplify to give you 2 over 3 x minus 1 over what? 3. Minus 1 over 3. All right. And that will be the answer for the dy over what? Dx for the question. All right. Let me pick one, maybe one or two more questions. Then we'll go to the next mechanism. So if you have y is equal to x raised to the power minus 2. So you can pause the video and try and solve it and come back and see if you get the same thing. So remember the 3 rules. You bring down the power, use it to multiply the question, and you subtract 1 from n, right? So let's go. So the y over dx, so we're differentiating y in respect to x. So it's going to be the y over dx. Are you seeing it? We're differentiating y in respect to x. We bring down the power, it'll be minus 2 multiplied by x minus 2, and you subtract 1 from this. Are you seeing it? Then you simplify. That's going to give us minus 2 multiplied by x minus 3, and this will now give you what? Minus 2x minus 3, and that is the derivative for that question. All right, let me pick one more example, then I'll give you some exercises to try. So let's say we have y is equal to x minus 4 over 3. So we have x minus 4 over 3. The same thing, the y over dx is going to be, you bring the power down, okay? So it's going to be minus 4 over 3 multiplied by x raised to the power minus 4 over 3. Then you subtract what? 1. And this is going to give us minus 4 over 3 multiplied by x. Minus 4 over 3 minus 1 is going to give you minus 7 over 3. Okay, if you press your calculator, then you multiply this, and the answer is going to become minus 4 over 3 x raised to the power what? Minus 7 over 3. And that will be the y over what? The x. Okay, and that is the answer for that. All right, good. So let me give you some exercise to try. All right, so in this video series, I'm going to give you some exercises. So I want you to try this question. So let's say we have y is equal to x raised to the power minus 10. What the answer will be. What about if you have y is equal to, let's say, x raised to the power 4. Number 3, we have y is equal to x raised to the power 3 over 4. And number 4, we have y is equal to x raised to the power 2. And you were told to find, so in all these questions, I want you to find the derivative, the y over what? The x. So what you can do, I want you to, you can solve it, and you can also put the answers in the comment section, or you can discuss with a friend, or if you're not sure on how to do it, just send me a message, send me an email, and we can go over it together. So basically, that will bring us to the end for this video series. So the first thing you do, you bring down the power, okay? The power you have. So you have to ensure it has to be in an index form. So you bring down the power, then you subtract 1 from the power. That is it. And that's how you differentiate the power rule, okay? So that will bring us to the end for the power rule differentiation, the first rule. Now we're going to go to the second one, which is going to become, which is the power rule with a constant, okay? That will be in the next video. So please, if you have any question, feel free to let me know. Send me an email or a comment section. Try and solve these exercises and put it in the comment section so we can see. There is no judgment here. If you didn't get it or you can't solve it, just let me know, and we can send me an email and I'll respond to you, okay? All right, so I'll see you in the next video where we're going to talk about power rule with a constant, okay? So see you soon.